Marcus Hale kept a low profile. Some people in his position would have enjoyed flashing the perks that came with being one of the youngest federal judges in the district, but Marcus had never been one for attention. He drove a modest dark gray sedan. He lived in a manicured townhome community that prided itself on its peaceful, orderly environment. He wore simple polo shirts outside of court and never went anywhere expecting anyone to recognize him. He liked that sense of anonymity. It made life quieter. Quiet was something he deeply appreciated after long hours spent listening to arguments in court, parsing through evidence, evaluating testimonies. By the time he arrived home most evenings, he was just Marcus again. Not Your Honor. Not the man whose signature could shift a person's future. Just a guy in his late 30s who liked to cook pasta with too much garlic and watch old crime documentaries. That afternoon the sun hung high, warming the pavement while the leaves rattled in a lazy breeze. Marcus turned into the community gate, tapping his access card against the reader. The metal barrier lifted. The moment he drove in, the world felt calmer, tucked away from the chaos of the courthouse and the constant barrage of appeals and motions. He wound through the neighborhood, passing the familiar trimmed hedges and identical beige units. The HOA kept everything uniform, insisting on strict guidelines. Everyone was supposed to follow the rules. That was what made the neighborhood desirable, at least according to their glossy brochures. As he pulled closer to his assigned parking space, clearly marked with the number that matched his home unit, he noticed a woman standing nearby. She was planted firmly like she was defending territory. A short, stern-faced woman with a stiff bob haircut and oversized sunglasses pushed up on her head. Her lips were pinched into a frown so tight it might have been permanent. A chihuahua-sized dog trembled at the end of a pink leash, yapping at the shadows. Marcus recognized her. Karen Caldwell. Homeowner Association watchdog. Self-appointed neighborhood sheriff. She had once tried handing him a violation warning because his recycling bin had been out 5 minutes past the designated retrieval window. That was his introduction to her. He'd smiled politely, apologized, and moved on. Her eyes had stayed cold, suspicious. She was famous in the community Facebook group for starting fights over shrub heights and mailbox cleanliness. He eased his car toward his spot and she immediately lifted her hand, signaling him to stop like she had some legal authority to direct traffic. Marcus tapped the brakes, brows lifting in bewilderment. She marched up to his window with tight, purposeful steps, her dog's tiny feet skittering trying to keep up. He rolled down the window halfway. Yes. The word left his mouth calmly, maybe with a hint of curiosity. You cannot park here, she declared, crossing her arms sharply. Stopping abruptly like that made her dog jolt and bark, tangled in its leash. She gave the leash a frustrated tug without breaking eye contact. Marcus glanced at the number painted on the ground. It matched his placard on the wall. He looked back at her. This is my space, he said simply. No. It belongs to the homeowners. Her tone carried the assumption that he must be mistaken. Or lying. She tapped her foot like she was ready to write a citation. I am a homeowner here, Marcus replied. Unit 42. Karen scoffed. I know every homeowner in this community. You rent. The owners are an older couple. I speak with them often. Marcus blinked slowly. The assumption didn't surprise him, unfortunately. The tone didn't either. It had been directed at him before. Not everyone expected a black man to be the property owner. They expected him to be the delivery guy, or a visitor, or someone who just didn't belong. He kept his voice measured. You're mistaken. The previous owners moved 2 months ago. I purchased the property. She narrowed her eyes as though she didn't believe even a syllable. Show me proof. She extended her hand as if expecting him to produce property documents from his glove compartment like a magician. I don't carry a deed in my car, he said. Humor was usually his shield, but he kept it subtle. Her nostrils flared. Then you need to move along. I'll call security if necessary. Marcus felt the tension creeping into his jaw, but years of courtrooms and confrontational attorneys had trained him not to react too quickly. He put the car into park and stepped out, standing tall. He had an athletic build from his early morning gym routines. The sun caught the crisp watch on his wrist, the quiet sophistication of his attire. He didn't need to flash power to have it. It was in his poise. Karen's dog immediately barked louder, sensing the shift. "Ma'am," Marcus began in a tone that radiated calm authority. "This is my designated space. There is no further discussion needed. Don't speak to me like that." She stepped closer, head tilted defiantly. "I make sure this community remains secure and respectable. I'm here every day dealing with problems exactly like this." He almost chuckled. Exactly like this. People like him. He inhaled softly and reached for his key fob, clicking the car locked. He turned toward his front door. Karen was not done. "You think you can just ignore me?" she snapped, her volume rising. "I run the HOA compliance team. I protect the property values here. If people just start parking wherever they want, this place will go downhill fast. Then what? We'll have..." She stopped before finishing the sentence. Marcus could already imagine what she was about to say. Her face reddened, either from anger or embarrassment, though regret didn't seem like something she entertained. He pivoted slightly back to her. "If you have an official complaint," he said, "you can bring it to the HOA office. Their business hours are listed." "I am the HOA," she barked. The tiny dog jumped like it was startled the same moment she yelled. "I'm not letting you go in there until I see proper authorization." She stepped in front of him, blocking his path. The entitlement in her stance was unmistakable. His patience had limits. He straightened his blazer. "Move aside. You don't tell me what to do here," she scoffed. "You don't command anything in this neighborhood. I command the rules. Not you." Marcus's silence stretched for a moment. He could have revealed everything. He could have mentioned the title that turned powerful attorneys into docile schoolchildren. He could have said 3 simple words that would have melted her smug assurance into sheer mortification. Federal Judge. Hail. Yet he didn't. Some part of him wanted to see how far she would take her crusade. How deep her assumptions went. She took out her phone aggressively. "I'm calling the police. You're trespassing. You don't belong here. I'm not letting some stranger threaten the safety of this community." Marcus wiped a hand across his chin. "I am going inside my own home, which I pay for, into a community where I legally reside." He spoke slowly, like addressing an overeager rookie lawyer misunderstanding a statute. "That's what guilty people say," she huffed, punching numbers into her phone. The tiny dog yapped high-pitched punctuation to her insults. "You need to calm down," Marcus told her evenly. "I will not calm down while you're loitering here. Show me your ID right now or leave." She jabbed a finger toward him like she was delivering a written warning. "It is not your right to demand identification from residents," he responded. "It absolutely is," she insisted. "I have every right to protect this neighborhood from suspicious people." Suspicious. That word again. The way she said it wasn't subtle. He had faced prejudice before, but every incident still felt like a fresh bruise. He wondered whether she had any awareness of how transparent her bias was, or if she genuinely saw herself as some noble defender of the suburbs. Her call connected. "Yes, this is Karen Caldwell," she announced theatrically. "I need police dispatched immediately. There's a man trying to break into a home." "Yes, he's African American." "No, he's refusing to show ID. He's threatening me." Marcus's eyes widened. "I have done nothing of the sort." Karen turned her back on him, stepping away like she wanted distance for effect. "Yes, he's being aggressive," she added dramatically, clutching her dog to her chest